Good morning, y'all. You know what time it is? It is time for a garden tour. It's been a little while, and we've got some things going on I want to share with you. And the first thing I want to show you today is our buckwheat. It is blooming, and the plan was when it started blooming to cut it low and let it lay for about a month and then to plant over it. But I got to show you what's going on out here. You see all the bees? They are loving it. They are absolutely loving it. And for those of you that don't know, we do have bees. See the hive over there? And they are just going nuts. Can you see them all out there? They are absolutely loving the buckwheat. So it's not going anywhere because it has provided a food source for our bees. And I'm just tickled. I am absolutely, look at them. They are, oh man, just going to town. So the buckwheat will be staying, and after that, when it starts, you know, kind of died back or whatever, the flowers start falling, we will cut it down and we're going to plant some Super Bee Phacelia. Now this has beautiful purple flowers and they're excellent for our pollinators. So we're going to plant that next because winter's coming. Right now, the fall here in Central Florida, there are flowers everywhere. I mean, not right here around us, but you can go riding down the roads, and especially little back roads, and there are just wildflowers everywhere. It's just so pretty. So they should have lots and lots of food, and we won't have to feed them for a while. Now you can see I've started burning my holes on my landscape fabric, and this is for our brassicas. We plan to plant this whole plot here with brassicas, lots and lots of brassicas, and we may throw some other things in too. We'll just have to kind of see how it goes. Let's go take a look at our squash plant. You remember in the last video I talked about planting some things in a pot, and we can see how much we get off of it. Now that's our squash, and I don't remember the name of it. It's this really long, it kind of looks like a butternut squash, but it's long and it kind of curves, and they're supposed to keep really well, and they are supposed to be like really delicious. This is my first time growing it, so I don't have any experience with it, but I've heard really good things about it, and so I'm super excited about that. Now this plot behind me, it should already be planted, but I swear it's like I try to make things hard for myself. I planted my seeds, my brassicas. I just threw them out here in the little tent. I just, you know, thought, oh, they'll come up, germination, yeah, it'll be good. No. Brassicas like it about 80 degrees when they germinate. I knew that. I ignored it, and I made it hard on myself. So I had to replant, and I'll show you those in here in just a minute. Now you got to take a look at this, guys. Oh, I'm so excited. Now look at our cucumber. Now I haven't trained it to do anything. It's just doing its own thing there. And I just couldn't be more pleased. Super excited. Well, that's the front yard. So let's head to the back garden and take a look back there. There's not a lot going on in the front garden right now. It will be. But except for the bees, man, the bee activity is amazing. Before we go there, we're going to bypass my little seedlings. So let's go take a look there. And so I can show you what I've got going on. Here we go. Now you can see they're still really small, but they're coming along. I need to give them another feeding. And right here on the tray on the left is cabbage. And then we have, nope, sorry. What is that one? That one's broccoli. And then we have cauliflower. And then we have cabbage. And up front here, now here's some little extras where I had some little extra little cabbage sprouts. I want to show you this. Now this is a pineapple that we bought and it rooted. We rooted it in water, and I'm gonna take you inside when we get done with this, guys. So y'all hang with me if you want to know how to get a pineapple top to grow. I'm going to show you how to do that, because it had all these wonderful roots, and I potted it in the pot, and then we'll put it out in the garden eventually. Now right here, y'all, this is elderberry. Alright, so I got this little elderberry clipping from a dear friend of mine, my friend Barbara, who is absolutely precious. And anyway, I think I had 5 of them. 3 of them rooted really quick, and so I've got them potted in these pots right here. That's it, guys. I've propagated them in water. I just kept changing the water when I needed to. Started looking a little cloudy, I would change it out. Even before that sometimes, just to make sure it had nice fresh water, and they rooted. I have 2 more in there on the kitchen window, and one of them has finally started rooting, and then I got another one I'm still waiting on, so I don't know. Even if it doesn't, that leaves me with 4 elderberries that I can plant out there in our yard. So I am super, super excited. If you know anybody with elderberry, guys, get you some clippings, clip all the leaves off except for the top ones. Probably could have even cut these bottom ones off right here for this one. But cut all the leaves off but the top ones, and then stick it in water and just keep on it. Just keep on it, keep the water fresh, and it'll root for you. It may take some time, but it will root for you. Alright, so let's head on out here. And y'all, not long off, just a few more days, we're going to start digging some sweet potatoes. We're going to test it out. I kind of scratched around a little bit yesterday, and that was a big old tater I came across. So I'm just hoping there's a whole bunch more of them in there too. So if you ever want to be notified of our videos, just be sure and hit that notification bell. And that way, anytime new videos come up, you'll be notified. And you won't miss anything. Because we are building our homestead from scratch. Now, we did have a smaller homestead on an acre of land. We have upgraded to 5 acres the first of this year, and January 2022. And so we've been having to build everything, and it's been it's been a struggle, guys. There's just a lot, and then the soil is different, and you got to learn your soil. And I've gardened, there's been several years of my life that I have gardened, and I don't know, I told my other friend Karen the other day that I don't know, I feel like I didn't know anything, because there's just so much to learn. So if you're in my position and you're just starting out, guys, or looking to get started, don't stress. Try not to stress. Okay, I can't say don't stress. Try not to stress, and take one thing at a time. Get your plan. Don't go out and buy all your animals at one time. There's such a huge learning curve. I mean, our goats, our sweet little girl goats, one of them got poisoned. I'm telling you guys, there's a homemade remedy for that too, and which I got as much as I could in her, and still the next morning it got her through the night. I don't say it cured her, it got her through the night. She survived the night, and then the next morning we called the vet out, because I just felt like she needed more than just that remedy. But we have a video to that. I'll link it for you below. But that's just an example. We got our pigs. We had this has nothing to do with gardening, guys, but all of you that are starting a homestead, this is so important to know. We got our pigs, we got a gilt and a feeder, and they ended up with greasy pig disease, which is they can get dehydrated, they can get greasy pig disease. And there's a whole nother story to how that happened, but I'm not going to take you on that one. So then we had to delay getting our board that was coming about a month later. So all these things, guys, learn. Get you some books. My favorite books on learning how to take care of the pigs and the goats, I will leave links to them in the description box below if you want to check them out. And I will be doing a video on the goats from the birth up to where we are now. We've had goats for about 1.5 years. So I'm not a huge expert. We survived a poisoning, and they have not had any more problems, and they are very healthy animals. We have had to worm them, so I will take you along and just give you some instructions. So hit that notification bell, y'all. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We'd love to have you along on our journey. Okay, so let's turn around here and quit looking at my mug and check out this garden. Now, y'all, I am very pleased. We first moved in here. If you've watched any of my garden videos, I'm bad about just planting it and go. Well, my first garden ever, I was blessed with extremely wonderful soil. Everything just, like the okra was way taller than me. Anyway, everything just did beautifully. And you know, that's not always the case. I was fortunate, and it taught me a big lesson here that, you know, you got to test your soil, which I haven't officially tested my soil, but you gotta see what you got and what's going on. Now, can you see those little tomatoes? You see those little tomatoes down there? And we've got a little one right there. So we have some tomatoes have started. We've never grown tomatoes on cattle panels. So with these being indeterminate, I raised them up like 2 feet up because I wanted to have plenty of space for them to grow, you know. And I don't know, I think next time I might bring them down at least about 6 inches. And so we can tie them off a little quicker, because I do have these little clips right here. Let me show you. And I can, little tomato trellis clips. I can leave links for you in the description box below for these as well. And I love those. I only got to use one so far because I had to start using my little tape to just kind of, it was really windy the other day and my tomatoes were whipping all around, but they just clip on right there, and I love that thing. I might need to pull that branch out right there. I think it got caught up in there, but I'll fix that later. But they're doing good, and I just sprinkled asparagus seeds down. I mean, not asparagus, I'm sorry guys, basil. So I do need to thin some of those out. The okra is looking excellent. I don't understand why this end, unless they're just getting more water, because this is the water, where the water comes into the line there. That's what I'm thinking. They're just getting to more water. But they're on drip, and you know, can't really see what's going on underneath the ground, so I don't know that I'm going to plant it in the ground anymore. Right here we've got some jalapenos. They're coming on up. The yarrow looks amazing. And y'all, if you have not started growing yarrow in your yard, you need to get you some. I can put a link below for you where I purchased my yarrow seeds from. There's lots of them out there, guys. It shouldn't be any problem finding them. But the other day we clipped all of our dog's toenails, and one of them I clipped too short. I think it was a black toenail, and I just nipped the tip, but I think it must have already broken off. Anyway, I felt so bad, but anyway, it bled really bad. And first thing I was close to was the baking soda, because we were up by the house. So I grabbed the baking soda, put that on there. It did nothing. I've used it on small little nicks, and you know, it'll stop the bleeding. It did nothing. So I ran out here to the garden, and I grabbed literally like this much yarrow, which I probably may not have even needed that much. Grabbed that much yarrow, and I just smushed it between my fingers, all up in my palm, and took it over to my dog and stuck it on that toenail and just sat his foot down on top of it. Not another bit of blood was on the concrete. It stopped it. I mean, just like that. It was amazing, guys. Super, super good. And it's really good as an insect repellent too. And we even use it, I swear, ants must love me, because I get them on me all the time. And I spray that on any kind of bug bites, ant bites, and instead of itching for 3 days in the middle of the night and everything else from ant bites, it stops it. It keeps it from itching. So be sure and try that out, y'all. Now our potatoes are starting to come up. This row over here is doing pretty darn good. It is coming up pretty good. This one over here, I don't know why it's being so slow, but I may stick a few more out here. just for the heck of it. But over here, ooh, look at those sweet potatoes. Those vines are gorgeous. And once again, I don't want to dig them up, but I don't want my potatoes to get too huge because the bees love these flowers. They just love all these pretty, and I love these little purple flowers. I love purple. Here's one right there. See that one? Oh, he came and went in a hurry. He is a busy little bee. They don't waste any time. And the green beans, they just look amazing. You see the green beans, how beautiful they are and how green they are. Now those green beans probably could stand for another feeding, but they were like this lime green color. And y'all, I took some of our rabbit manure, I put it in a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket, and I added like 1 part rabbit manure to 2 parts water, and I just let it sit there for like 2 or 3 days. Now I got this idea from Next Level Gardening. This was not my idea. I learned it from him. But then after those 2 or 3 days, I took some out. I took a cup out and added it of just the juice, not the manure. I had to kind of strain it there, and add it to my sprayer with a gallon of water. And I came out here and I just sprayed all the plants. Well, the next day, the beans, you could instantly tell a difference. They were so much, a much more beautiful green and dark, and they were just gorgeous. All right, guys, who's been following along with the peanuts? Well, you got to check this out. Look at the peanuts. Yep. That is the 3 rows of peanuts. The rows are 36 inches apart, and we did plant double rows, which I have a video on planting peanuts. I will link for you below as well. Now, I know many of you, it's too late to start planting them, but if it's something that would interest you, think about it for next year. If you live in a good climate for peanuts, and I'm really hoping to make some peanut butter. We're going to give it a try, so stay tuned. We're going to see what we can do with these peanuts this year, other than boiling and roasting, which I love both. But I really want some all natural, yummy, homegrown peanut butter. You see this mess behind me back here? We need tarps. They're ridiculously expensive for a tarp this size, so we don't have a tarp this size. We got a sale on tarps from Costco for a decent price for 3, which you see it covered a very small portion of the plot. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. I think I have figured out what I want to do back here in this section of the garden. And I really think I want to just turn it into flowers. May throw some vegetables in the mix too, but I really think, I mean, we have bees, so I really want to keep our bees well fed, and I know what they're eating, and I don't have to worry about them. And I love flowers. I don't know, we may go to the farmer's market with cut flowers, but we may give that a try. I hate to tell y'all what I'm gonna do because I always change my mind. But anyway, putting flowers in that pot is a thought. It is a consideration, so we'll have to see. So we're not going to let it go, though. We are going to do something with it, but we're just trying really hard to get control of what we have. We really should have just started with 1 garden plot, and I just went crazy and made 2. So a big one, 2 30 by 30 garden beds in the back, and 2 30 by 30 garden beds in the front. So, and while my husband is good about, running tillers and helping me put up fencing and things like that, the gardening part of it all, I really am, in charge of, and that's fine. I really enjoy it, but I need to get my soil figured out, and I just need to get things going a little better. All right, so here we are. The house was dark, so I brought you out front here. The puppies are sleeping. I know, if you haven't seen our new puppies, they're so cute, but they're sleeping. I don't want to disturb them. So they are eating, pooping machines. But right here, this is this one I just stuck in about, I don't know, 3-4 days ago. Yeah, Friday. Stuck it in on Friday. This is Monday. So 4 days ago, I just stuck it in the water. When you buy a fresh pineapple from the store, and it's always best to buy organic if you have the option to buy organic. These were not, but you see how it has the insides, all of the leaves on the inside. You want to make sure it has all the leaves on the inside, okay? And if you're going to try to propagate this pineapple top. And then on the bottom there, you'll just pull off all the leaves until you have about 1 inch. You see that? About 1 inch showing. And then it will start rooting. Now you can see right here, it'll already have little bitty sprouts because, you know, plants just automatically want to live on and they grow and try to reproduce. But you can see there, see the little roots? So when it gets a nice big bunch of roots, and I had one of mine out there out in the back, it really only got roots on one side, and I waited and waited, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. So I went ahead and planted it. I'm hoping it'll make it through. The other one had just tons of roots all the way around it. So you want to stick it into the water until it's well rooted, and then just plant it in potting soil. Now I put it in a small pot because I plan to transplant it out into the garden because we do live in Central Florida. It does get cold here, but I mean, I can cover them up if we have, you know, a really cold spout, and so it won't be a big deal. Now this is my other elderberry that I was telling you about. See all the roots on it? Finally started. I had the other ones already potted. They've been potted, and then this one suddenly decided to start rooting. So I was super excited about that. And I've got one more over here, and I'll show you my jar. Still waiting on this little guy. Don't know what his problem is, but we haven't given up on you yet. But we're getting close. Yeah. So anyway, but you see here, just a mason jar, and you see my water. I need to change it. It's getting kind of icky. Just a mason jar with some water. And that's all you do, y'all. Set it up on in your kitchen window if you have one, or somewhere close by where you see it on a regular basis, so it reminds you to keep a check on it and change its water, and just to give it the care it needs. Now y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video. We're super excited about our fall garden this year. Our spring garden, we really threw it in the ground in a hurry because we were, you know, like I said, building pens and just had so much going on. And we got some, you know, we got some things. The white acre peas did really well. I mean, but overall, I don't know, I would call it a bit of a flop. So I'm really hoping for a good fall harvest. And we had some compost left that we had initially gotten when we moved here. We didn't get near what we needed to put on all the beds. But you hear so much about the grazon and the compost. It's like I'm scared to put it on my garden. We're going through so much to try to, you know, get our soil in good condition, and I just really hate bringing compost in. It scares me. So I did buy some bags of mushroom compost. Certainly not enough to put all over the gardens, but I have broadcasted some over the patch where the buckwheat is. Whenever I dig a hole and plant something new, I mix the mushroom compost in the hole. Okay, y'all, my doctor's office just called. I had to answer because I kind of needed to talk to him. Nothing serious, but anyway, sorry, I don't remember where I left off. But I hope you enjoyed our tour today, y'all. Oh, the compost, mixing the compost in the hole when I plant plants in there. And that has seemed to really help. And I added some rabbit manure in the holes. Not for everything out there in the garden, because I didn't have those things like the peanuts and the beans. I literally just stuck in the ground. But I had added some rabbit manure on the top there. And but in the okra and the tomatoes, I did on each of the holes add both of those things. So if you had bad soil, guys, the mushroom compost is really good. And from what I understand, even if you get contaminated soil, that's pretty much one of the ways that you can help fix your soil is to add that mushroom compost, because that's what it does. It fixes the soil. So I hope that helps. If you've enjoyed this video, guys, please don't forget to subscribe. Give us a big old thumbs up. It really does help our channel. And hit that notification bell. I would love to have you along. I'm really getting into a lot of the some cooking. I thought, you know, here we are in the times that we're in, and we're learning to grow food, and they're talking about food shortages and not being able to find things in the grocery store. We need to know how to cook from scratch. So guys, if you want to learn how to cook from scratch, I do a lot of that around here, and I'm going to be taking you along. And we do have a blog at simplymadehomestead.com where there are printable recipes there that you can find, and we have a recommendation list of the items and things that we use around our homestead and that we would highly recommend. All right, y'all, thanks again. Appreciate you so much. Until next time, take care and God bless.